Hey y'all, my name's Mare. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be reading Like an Enneagram 5. So if you're new to my channel and you haven't seen one of these ENNEAREADS videos before, essentially I am reading like the 9 different Enneagram types to see which type I identify the most with through book recommendations. So the Enneagram is basically a personality test similar to the Myers-Briggs, where you are assigned one of 9 different numbers to kind of help you understand your strengths and your weaknesses better. So I highly recommend going to the very first video if you haven't watched any of these before. I will link the playlist to all my ENNEAREADS videos in the cards and in the description. You can go ahead and watch the previous videos leading up to this journey. I think it just makes more sense to watch it that way, but you're also more than welcome to start here and see if I think that I'm an Enneagram type 5. So really quickly, let's talk about what the Enneagram type 5 is. The Enneagram 5 is the investigator. 5s are alert, insightful, and curious. They are able to concentrate and focus on developing complex ideas and skills, independent, innovative, and inventive. They can also become preoccupied with their thoughts and imaginary constructs. They become detached, yet high-strung and intense. They typically have problems with eccentricity, nihilism, and isolation. At their best, visionary pioneers, often ahead of their time, and able to see the world in an entirely new way. Their basic fear is being useless, helpless, or incapable. Their basic desire is to be capable and competent. Their key motivations are that they want to possess knowledge, to understand the environment, to have everything figured out as a way of defending the self from threats from the environment. Right off the bat, I already think that I am not an Enneagram 5 just based off that description. It just doesn't sound like me, but to be sure, we have to read 2 different books and see if these recommendations are actually accurate for a type 5 and therefore myself. So the first book that I'm going to be reading in this reading vlog is A Study in Charlotte, and I will get into the synopsis of each book as I read them. I just don't want to be too redundant, but let me explain why this book was recommended to an Enneagram type 5. This Sherlock Holmes retelling features Jamie and Charlotte, who are the descendants of Watson and Sherlock respectively. Their lives intersect at an elite New England boarding school where social standing and sinister crime seem to be inevitable. 5s will love A Study in Charlotte because of Charlotte herself. She's sharp, witty, and has the scatterbrained genius of Sherlock Holmes coupled with the relatability of a struggling high school student. After A Study in Charlotte, Passmere does mention reading Caraval, but I actually did not end up picking this one up in the vlog. I just didn't want it to confuse you when you saw. I explain later, okay? But I actually ended up picking up Slay instead, and here's why Slay is recommended to an Enneagram type 5. 5s are insightful, curious, and highly capable. As collectors of knowledge, they often have one or more areas of deep expertise. Their ideas can be bold, visionary, and even revolutionary. Others might perceive them as a little eccentric, and they run the risk of detaching from reality and retreating to their fascinating inner worlds. Kira from Slay is intensely passionate and knowledgeable about Black culture. She designs an immersive video game world that is Black Panther meets World of Warcraft, in which Black gamers can have meaningful interactions with each other. Even more impressive, Kira runs the game out of her bedroom in her spare time. Externalizing her detailed inner world and sharing it with others who validate her vision from afar is very rewarding for a 5. So those are the 2 books that I'll be reading in this vlog, and I'm about to hand you off to Passmere, where she reads A Study in Charlotte. But I do want to preface this video and say that this Enneagram reading vlog is very different from my other ones, and I do apologize in advance. But again, Passmere is going to explain all of that, so just stay tuned, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I am halfway through A Study in Charlotte, and this follows the descendants of Sherlock and Watson, and you're following Charlotte Holmes and Jamie Watson in the present day as they try to uncover a mystery at this boarding school that they're at. I get why this is recommended in tandem with Truly Devious, which is another popular YA mystery series, but this is just not doing anything for me. It's not giving me the characters that I loved in Truly Devious. I'm not very invested in the plot, and I don't care about the mystery. I'm really bummed about this because I thought that I was gonna have 4 cozy boarding school mysteries to binge, but I think that the problem with this one is that I've never really cared about Sherlock Holmes and Watson. I've never been into Sherlock, and so for this to be just a retelling of that is just not captivating me in the way I hoped it would. I also just feel like it uses the trope of the character Charlotte is just smarter than everyone else and she just is always gonna figure things out. And I do think Charlotte has a lot of layers to her because she does undergo substance abuse and she's very complex for a YA character, and I do appreciate that. But I also just don't really care about her in the way that I feel I should with all of these personality aspects of her. Like, I feel like she has so many layers, but just because she has those layers, it doesn't mean that I care about her, which is really unfortunate because I feel like a big part of liking this book is being invested in Charlotte and Jamie and invested in their potential relationship, because I'm pretty sure they're gonna end up together by the end of this. I mean, there's definitely some romantic tension with the two characters, and it kind of gives me Romeo and Juliet vibes because their families are very much not into each other. They don't want them to get together. It's okay. I think at the end of the day, I'll probably give this one 2.5 stars, but the ending could possibly blow me away. I'm trying to keep it on, and hopefully I'll really enjoy this by the end, but this is definitely not going to be a 5-star. It's not a 1-star by any means, but it's definitely not holding my attention the way that I want it to. I'm listening to the audiobook, and I am literally having to remind myself, hey Meredith, you're listening to an audiobook right now. Maybe you should be spending the time that you're doing your dishes or you're cleaning to actually listen to it. And I am just never wanting to pick it up. Like, it's just not capturing my attention, which is very, very unfortunate. I definitely understand the recommendation for an Enneagram 5 so far. It's a mystery. It just makes sense to recommend this to a 5 because the 5 is the investigator, and you're definitely going to be wanting to search for clues. But I love searching for clues in my books, and this one, I don't have any guesses, and I don't care to guess who the killer is or anything like that. Disappointing so far. I'm not hating it. I'm not loving it. It's just kind of a meh experience. So I'll chat with you guys when I have actually finished A Study in Charlotte. Hello, friends. I have finished A Study in Charlotte, and I am gonna give it 3 stars, I think. So I actually just didn't care for this like at all. I liked it much better when I picked it up physically. So the audiobook was not the way to go for this, because up until the halfway point, I was like, I really don't know how I feel about this. But once I picked up the once I picked up the physical book, it was a much better experience. The characters felt so much more real to me, and they weren't as annoying, and the plot was starting to make more sense, and it was more enticing. But it still just wasn't great. I was sort of thinking maybe this could be a 4-star at one point, and I was kind of like, you know, maybe I will pick up the second book. But I looked at reviews, and people were like, this one's even worse than the first book, and I was like, oh, I don't know about that. I get why this is recommended to an Enneagram 5. It's an investigator. There's an investigator in here. I love a good mystery, and this one just wasn't very compelling. The characters were fine. Like I said, reading it physically made me care about them a lot more, so that partly is on me for listening to it on audio. The guy did a really weird accent for Charlotte, and it made me not like her character, I think, but then once I was actually physically reading about her, I was like, oh, I kind of like her, and I feel bad for her. So I definitely had more sympathy for her once I was reading it with my eyeballs, but it just wasn't enough to make me want to read the second book, unfortunately. I don't not recommend this, but I don't think that this compares to Truly Devious in any way. And it's not like I was saying, oh, this book is going to be truly devious. I'm going to put all these expectations on this book, because it's 2 separate things. But I just don't care about Sherlock Holmes. I didn't find the mystery enticing. The characters felt very flat for me. Didn't care for it. It was fine, whatever. 3 stars. I'm never going to think about this book again. Now, it's an ENNEAREADS video. We gotta go to Starbucks. This is always my favorite part of doing these videos because I get to try new Starbucks drinks. But Enneagram 5s apparently like black coffee. So am I really about to go to Starbucks just to get a black coffee? Yes. I think I might get an Americano. I might like switch it up a little bit because I don't want to go pay like $5 just to get something I could make in my own kitchen, whatever it's called. But I need to go get my Starbucks drink, so we're gonna do that. And then after, I think maybe we'll play some board games or things of that nature that I can do online by myself. We're going to do that because that was an activity recommended to Enneagram 5s. It makes sense. They like to think critically about things, and so board games are a fun mental stimulus. Ooh, maybe I'll play a puzzle. That's something that Enneagram 5s like to do, apparently, is play with puzzles. Couldn't be me. I get really frustrated whenever I do puzzles, so I definitely don't think this is my Enneagram, but you know what? We gotta embrace it. I was also recommended to go to a conservatory or a zoo, and I want to go to the zoo so bad, so I definitely don't think I'm going to be able to in this vlog, but I just miss seeing animals. I love the zoo. When it's like, you know, actually ethical. When it's not ethical, we don't stay in the zoo, but I just grew up going to one near my house. That was really, really awesome. And the last thing that I'm going to be doing, one second, I've got my snacks right here because according to the internet, they should have like salty nuts and seeds for Enneagram 5s. I don't know where that came from, but I have some just hanging around. So this is gonna be what I munch on throughout this video. Let's go do the things. And then after that, I'm going to be reading another book. Let me show you what I'm going to be reading because I didn't bring it into the room with me. After we do all that, we're going to start Caraval by Stephanie Garber, which I have read before. This is sort of like a puzzle mystery sort of circus book. And I'll give you a better synopsis once I've actually read some of it because it's been a very, very, very long time while I've read that. Hence why I'm reading it for this video because I feel like I know nothing. So it's okay to read it for this video. But I'm very excited about this. Let's go do the thing. Come on, guys.
Tell me something I don't already know. Baby girl, tell me something I don't know. Undone in the long run, coming undone in the long run, coming undone in the long run, coming undone in the long run. Tell me something I don't already know. Baby girl, tell me something I don't know. Baby girl, tell me something I don't already know. Baby girl, tell me something I don't already undone in the long run, coming undone in the long run.
Hi friends, I currently have y'all propped up on a bunch of books, so I hope you don't fall down. But I have a lot to update y'all on for this ENNEAREADS video. So I don't know if you noticed in the previous vlog clips of this video, but I just felt weird about doing this ENNEAREADS video. I don't really feel like my heart is in it right now, and I don't want to like stop filming this video, which is because I've already read one of the books and I want to continue, but I also don't want to do anything that doesn't feel genuine or doesn't feel authentic. And so I decided first of all that I'm going to change the book that I'm reading. I'm not reading Caraval because I'm just not in the mood to start another series at the moment, and I also do not want to do the activities for this video, and I know that might be a disappointment for some of y'all, but I just don't think that I'm an Enneagram 5 anyways, and so I don't think that doing these activities is really going to change my mind about that because I've done puzzles, I've done board games before, so like I'm sorry if the B-roll isn't very interesting for this video or if this video is not very interesting. I really do apologize. I'm still going to give you an analysis on do I think that these books that were recommended to an Enneagram 5 are actually good for Enneagram 5s and why I think they were recommended to that type. So you're still getting the book content, and I do profusely apologize if this ENNEAREADS video just feels weird because it feels weird to me too. So with that being said, I also wanted to say that I am going to put these on pause for now because like I said before, I just don't want to put content out that doesn't feel 100% genuine, 100% my heart's into it. Like I want to make sure that every video I'm putting out, like I'm immensely proud of and that I feel authentically myself in them. And like some days I have bad days and some weeks just aren't as good as others. And like, I don't feel like that's inauthentic, but for me to keep doing this video series, it just feels very repetitive and sort of tired on my end, and I don't want it to feel that way for you guys either. So for now, we are stopping the ENNEAREADS videos. This is going to be the last one for a long time. I don't want to say that I'm never going to do them again because I really do enjoy doing these videos. They're some of my favorites to film, and I know that there's some favorites for y'all to watch, but for now, it's just gonna have to take a break. And I do really, really apologize for that, but I hope you guys understand that I just want to put out authentic content. I want to put out content that I'm 100% behind, and right now that is not this series. So I just wanted to mention that right now before we get any further into the video. And I do want to talk about Slay because I am halfway through this book. I ended up picking up Slay on a separate recommendation instead of Caraval. So Slay follows a girl named Kira who goes to high school. She's 17, and she actually has a secret that she is the game developer for this national video game that so many people play that is only for Black people. And essentially a teenager gets murdered over the game that she created, and she feels a lot of guilt over it, and she's just kind of seeing if she needs to pursue legal action. She doesn't know how to deal with that on her end because this is a secret. She doesn't tell people that she is the game developer. I will say this book is not something that I would typically pick up, but I wanted to read something that wasn't fantasy. I wanted to read more of a contemporary story. I don't typically read about video video games. I don't play video games. I'm not a huge YA contemporary reader in the first place. So this book, I will say, didn't captivate me as much as I wanted to initially. I feel like I had a really hard time getting into it, but when I was around the 50% mark and things started to kind of happen, I was like, okay, like I am invested now, and so I'm really looking forward to seeing where the story goes. At this point, I don't really know why it's recommended to an Enneagram 5, but I will see, I guess, as time progresses. I'm sure there's a little bit of a mystery just because there is a murder that happened, but from what I can tell, it's kind of like an open and shut case. So I'm interested in this one. I wouldn't say it's gonna be like my favorite book ever, but I do appreciate a lot of the discussions on being Black in America and is it racist to have a video game that is just for Black people. And it's just really interesting that it discusses so many different topics like that. And I do care for Kira and what happens to her, so I'm very, very interested in continuing, and I'll talk to you guys about my final thoughts once I've finished. Hello friends, I've officially finished Slay and I am ready to wrap up this reading vlog, so let me talk to y'all about my thoughts on this, and then if I think that the books that I read were actually good recommendations for an Enneagram Type 5, and if I personally think that I am an Enneagram Type 5. Slay ended up being a 3-star for me. I was kind of bouncing forth between a 3 and a 3.5, but overall I just have spent a couple days away from this book and I really haven't thought about it. I do think that it has some very important questions raised, and I did really find myself caring for Kira, and I thought that it had a really good plot twist. It was good in the fact that I didn't see it coming, but it was also alluded to and I could have predicted it coming, but it also just made me so incredibly angry, and it made me feel all the emotions that I was supposed to feel. But at the end of the day, I really just don't care about video games enough to really be invested in this overall story, but I really did like reading about different experiences, and I thought that it was a really cool premise. Like I said, I did care about Kira, but I found myself kind of struggling to care about the side characters because I just didn't find that they were as well developed. And I also thought it was kind of weird that there was different perspectives, at least in the audiobook, because I listened to it, and it kind of threw me out the story whenever we were from Kira's point of view, and then we would all of a sudden be in this new perspective of a person that I hadn't heard before, and I thought it was just a very interesting stylistic choice. I don't know if I hated it, but I just think that it took me out of the story every single time a new point of view was introduced. So it wasn't my favorite, but I don't think it necessarily harmed the story. Overall, it just really wasn't my thing. I think it raised some great questions. I don't really care for video games in general, but I loved the discussion and the questions that it raised. Now, I want to specifically talk if I think that these are good book recommendations for an Enneagram 5. So if you are a 5 yourself and you are looking for recommendations curated to your Enneagram type, I actually do think that both of these are good fits for an Enneagram 5. Both of these have mysteries, and Enneagram 5s are sort of the investigator. I think that the mystery element is a lot stronger in A City in Charlotte. Slay isn't necessarily a mystery, but there is more of a mystery plot line as you're trying to figure out certain things that are happening to Kira and why they're happening to her, and you kind of think that you have it all figured out, but you don't. And the same thing in A City in Charlotte. I think that both of these raise interesting questions and they are very intriguing. I did end up liking A Study in Charlotte a bit more because I do generally like a good mystery, and I think that A Study in Charlotte was more curated to my taste because the mystery element of this one was stronger. But overall, I think both of these are really great for a 5 because of that mystery element to it. So definitely recommend both of these if you are a YA reader and you're an Enneagram Type 5. Now, to sort of wrap up this vlog, do I think I'm an Enneagram Type 5? I think I've been pretty clear about this throughout the video, but no, I do not think I'm an Enneagram Type 5, and because of that, I think I'm going to place it pretty low on my list. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna place the 5 above a 2, but it's like second to last in my Enneagram journey. I'll put the like infographic here of my Enneagram type ranking so far that I have done this reading experiment for, but yeah, I just don't think I'm a Type 5. There's nothing wrong with it. I actually do generally enjoy mysteries in my books, and I much prefer books with a mystery subplot more so than a mystery as a main plot. So maybe that's why I just didn't enjoy these as much as I wanted to. But yeah, I don't think I'm an Enneagram 5. And again, I do want to kind of touch on the fact that I said I was going to be pausing this video series for a while. I profusely apologize. I know that some of my subscribers are really excited about these videos, and trust me, I am too, but I don't want to lose that excitement for these videos, and I want to make sure that every single time I'm posting them, I'm really amped for them. And I think a big reason why I am just not as excited to post these anymore is because, just to be completely transparent, you know, like these videos don't get a lot of views for me, and nothing is about the views. Of course, like I care about them and I do look at the numbers, but at the end of the day, I want to make content that I'm genuinely proud of. It really just hurts me when I log on to YouTube Studio and I look at the analytics and I see that a video I poured my heart and soul into doing really, really bad. And I really do appreciate every single one of you who watches these videos. I am just getting creatively exhausted because I feel like I'm putting all this energy and all this time into these videos for there to be a very little payoff, and I have creative payoff, but again, it just feels like every time I see that the number is not what I wanted it to be, it just really, really hurts my feelings, and I'm trying to get better about not letting that happen, but it really just discourages me when I have a creative idea and I want to express myself creatively through the platform and the videos just don't do well. So I don't want to let that get to me, but at the same time, like, I'm human and it's gonna get to me. So I think that just consistently seeing the numbers be very, very bad for these videos has just really affected my enjoyment of them, because it's something I'm really excited about, and knowing that it's gonna do bad right off the bat when I post it just makes me really, really sad. So I just am not as motivated to film them right now, because it just makes me sad. And I hope you guys understand, I'm not gonna stop doing these videos forever, but I really just need to put a pause in it for now, because it's just hurting my feelings and I really don't like that. So I'm gonna focus on content that is going to make me happy and that's gonna make you guys happy and that you're all generally interested in. So thank you so much from the bottom of my heart if you like my ENNEAREADS videos and you watch these. Like, it seriously means the world to me, because this is the kind of content that I do want to put out all the time, but I just feel like I can't right now. Thank you for being patient with me, and hopefully I'll be able to do my reading like an Enneagram 6 video before too long. But for now, I'm just going to take a break, and I'm sorry I'm rambling. I'm gonna end this video now, but thank you so much for watching from the bottom of my heart. It seriously means the world. It just blows my mind anyone wants to watch me talk about books on the internet. I would really appreciate it if you like this video. It really supports me and my channel, and subscribe down below if you haven't yet. I do post lots of book related content. I also have all my social medias linked down below, as well as ways that you can support my channel. And until next time, I'll see y'all later. Bye y'all!